What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another review video. And I don't think I have shown you guys this one yet. This has been in my collection for a very long time. I probably had this figure for about 5 or 6 years, if not more. I don't remember exactly when I bought it, but I bought it from Jeff Jacob, who, for those of you who collect vintage figures, you may or may not know him. If you don't know him, I recommend you go on YouTube and just type in Jeff Jacobs Star Wars and check out his collection. He's probably got the largest vintage Star Wars collection, owned by an individual. I mean, he's got everything, literally. It's a pretty amazing setup. He's been a long time collector, and he has a company called Jeff's Collectible Empire that where he does sell both loose and carded figures. And he hasn't been as active lately, but 5-6 years ago he was selling quite a bit of them as he filled out his collection and had duplicates and things. And this is one I did get. It's not a particularly high grade item, but it's high enough, and it's a beautiful example. This is IG-88, obviously the bounty hunter that was in The Empire Strikes Back. And I believe this is the silver version. It's got that silver sheen to it. I don't have any loose IG-88s to compare it to yet, so I'm just going on what it looks like, in the bubble. But it looks like it's the light silver version. There's a dark gray version and a few other kind of shiny versions and things like that. There's different versions related to the eye holes, hollow eyes, and different colored eyes. There's yellow. I've actually seen one that's got yellow eyes instead of the red dots. So. But let's take a closer look at them. This is a really nice one. This is one of the very first, probably 4 or 5 carded figures that I got when I got back into Star Wars, 5-6 years ago. And the other reason I wanted to bring this up is because I learned something new today about grading that I did not know. And I don't know why I never knew this, but it's pretty interesting. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's first take a look at IG-88 here. Just a beautiful figure. If you go back to my last video, I showed you a Polish bootleg version of IG-88, and you can tell that it was molded directly from this Kenner figure. It's just got awesome sculpting on the body. I love that bandola or bandolier, whatever you call that, goes around his chest. The 12-inch version of that came out in, I believe, 1980 has got some red grenades that goes around it. So he's a very popular character. A lot of Focus collectors collect him just for whatever reason. He's such a, didn't have any lines. He just had basically this one scene on the Star Destroyer when Darth Vader was kind of hiring all the bounty hunters to try and find the Millennium Falcon and Princess Leia and Han Solo. And he happened to be one of them. No disintegrations. And just a really cool figure. He does come with 2 guns. He got the standard kind of Imperial blaster along with a long rifle. And what's interesting is, I did not know this, but you can see how the figure's guns have, usually not every figure, but most figures, they have tape that holds the guns in place on the side of the bubble, on either side of the figure. And the tape has come loose on these just due to age or whatever, or, jostling around. And I did not know this, but AFA will not give, on a mint on card figure, AFA will not give an 85 grade figure grade to figures in the bubble where the tape has come loose. So the highest you can get for a figure where the tape has come loose with the weapons, and the weapons are now kind of hanging out and the tape's kind of loose like you see in this package, the highest figure subscore that you can get is an 80. So I did not know that until recently. So I just found that kind of interesting. I've always noticed with some eBay sellers, they're like, hey, we're not responsible if the gun comes loose during shipping. Sorry, we're not taking it back because of that. And now I understand what that means, why they kept saying that. To me, I was like, well, why does it matter? I mean, tape's going to fall off eventually anyway. These things are like 30 or 40 years old. But the reason is because the score no longer holds up. If you get if you get an 80, let's say you get an 85 overall mint on card figure with all, sub-scores of card 85, bubble 85, figure 85, and then you buy it on eBay, let's say, or Facebook or wherever, they ship it to you, and that tape comes loose. That sub-score is no longer valid according to AFA. It's now an 80 sub-score. So I didn't know that. I just you would think that with all the grading I've done over the years and things like that, I would know that kind of stuff. But I found that interesting, and I figured if I don't know it, because I'm just such a genius when it comes to graded figure. No, I'm kidding. But I figured if I don't know it, then there's got to be other people out there that don't know it either. So I just thought I'd share that. This one obviously was graded, with the tape coming loose in mind. So here's the grading sticker. It's a 1980 Kenner Star Wars Empire Strikes Back 32 back A IG-88. I don't know if this is the debut card or not. I'm not sure if IG-88 came on a 31 back or not. I think this is the debut card. I could be wrong, though. I should have looked that up. I apologize. But anyway, this is a 75 plus. So, it must not have been 5 or 6 years ago, because I don't think AFA implemented the plus scoring until, the last 3 or 4 years. But I know that I've had this for a long time. So it must have been right as AFA was implementing the plus scoring, because that's a fairly new addition by them. So it's definitely newer than 5 or 6 years ago when I bought this, but it was definitely one of the early mint on cards that I bought. But anyway, long story short is the card subscore is a 75, and I'll show you why in a second. The bubble scored an 80, and then the figure score got the 80, which again is because of the tape. So I couldn't figure out why this got an 80 bubble score. It looks mint to me, so I don't know if I, of course, don't know everything about the grading when it comes to bubbles, but I mean the bubble, if looking in the light and everything and the reflecting, it's sealed on all sides really well, and it does not have any dings that I can see, and it's not yellowed. So which the yellow does not affect the score; it just affects whether it says yellow on the sticker or not. But I guess maybe they saw some lipping around the bottom here where you can see. Maybe on the bottom there that there's some lipping going on there. I don't know. It could be this little ding right down here. I don't know if that's coming through or not, but right there you'll see just a slight imperfection on the bubble. So that might be why I got the 80. But nevertheless, it's a beautiful figure. I mean, look, I'm not complaining. This is a unpunched card ESB 32 back A of IG-88. I am not complaining. It's a beautiful, beautiful figure. In terms of the card subscore, it got a 75, and I'll show you why. I'm going to turn it on its side here so you can see here, but around the hanger tab, there is a crease there, and then on the back of the card is where the majority of the damage is. You can see here some pretty major damage there, and I think there was one other spot. Yeah, right here towards the top, there's a slight imperfection there, and then around the hanger tab there, the crease is a little more noticeable there. So, but nevertheless, it's an unpunched card. It's just a beautiful back, and it still says spectacular new Kenner toys from the new Star Wars movie, The Empire Strikes Back. So I think these were all. Let's see, these were the original 21, and then these were the 31. Along with Yoda makes 32. So I guess IG-88 was on the 31 back. So I'll have to go back and look, and maybe I'll put that in the comment section whenever I put this video up on YouTube. But it's a beautiful card. I really love it. It's got the Snowspeeder there, the Millennium Falcon, and then the Imperial Attack Base, which I never understood why they call that an Imperial Attack Base when all the all the rebels were the ones really in the base, and the Imperials were attacking by AT-AT and AT-STs and everything else. So, nevertheless, a very, very cool card. But yeah, I think this is the main reason why I got that 75 score. But I think the bubble was close enough to an 85, and the figure obviously was close enough to an 85, just, the only imperfections being the tape, that it bumped it up to a 75 plus. So, but just an awesome, awesome figure. I really love this one. And it's my only graded IG-88 at this point. Hopefully I'll have some in the future, but just a really, really cool card, and glad to have it in my collection. But anyway, the main reason I wanted to show it was I don't think I had shown the IG-88, but mainly I wanted to talked about that tape scoring system. I just did not know that until literally about a week ago, and I thought that was kind of interesting news. So, that is all I have. Thank you for watching, and I will be back soon.